All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have for you today one of the craziest articles I think I've read in a long time. And it is a massive level of cope regarding Lords of the Fallen developers saying that, they're not going to do DEI, they're not going to do politics, socio-political messaging, and all that stuff in their video games. Well, of course, the games journalists who believe that they can just have so much media literacy that they understand the deeper and the much more refined discussions around video games and whatnot. They're the ones that need to tell you exactly what's happening with the story because you're just a chud who can't see it. While these people, when they hear developers say, yeah, we're not going to do DEI in our games, they take that as there's going to be no socio-political messaging whatsoever, even in a fantastic story. They do it so much to the point where this particular journalist is now coming out and saying that the Souls games are inherently gay.
What? What's that? Oh no. Not again.
We work hard. We play hard.
Oh no. Einstein, why'd you take me to a gay undead bird?
I don't know.
I shit you not, ladies and gentlemen, this idiotic journalist is literally going to tell you right now in this article that these Souls games are inherently queer. They're so queer. They're so gay. And you just don't know it because you can't see it. You are a chud. The coffin that allows you to go from male to female that is strictly there to allow the player to have the ability to change their sex. No, that's not there. It truly is just a meaning for trans people. That's what it really means. I swear. These people are idiots. So let's get into this article, guys, from The Gamer. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. The headline reads, Lords of the Fallen dev is wrong about politics and Elden Ring proves it. And then he says that developer CI Games recently pledged that it won't include social and political elements in its games going forward because players do not appreciate this. It's a flimsy argument that caters to a very angry but vocal minority of players. Oh, now we're apparently a minority of players. The other day, we were like a massive majority because we were killing all the games. Now we're a vocal minority. These guys can't make up their mind. Anyway, it's a flimsy argument that caters to the very vocal minority. Looking at inspirations proves how little weight this narrative has. Social political undertones are at the roof of every Souls-like. Then he goes on a tangent, right? He goes on a tangent because here's what these people do. They take a story, right? They take a story and they tear it apart to its most basic form. And then they take that basic form. It's if a socio-political message in it. They take the basic form and then they exacerbate it. They take it and they run with it, right? So in this case, Souls like having ideas of classism in it, suddenly that makes it all about it, right? So it can't just have ideas in there about classism and mixing it into a great epic story. No. It has to be about classism. It is a story about classism, and it is literally telling you about classism in the United States of America. That is what it's doing, and that's how these people think. Dark Souls is incredibly overt in its critique of classism. Humanity is subjugated by a ruling elite who has hoarded Lord Souls for themselves, selfishly coveting power and wealth. When we first arrive in Anor Londo, its lavish splendor stands in stark contrast to the dingy, run-down burgs below that have been left in complete disrepair. This uneven divide between humanity and the upper class is made abundantly clear the moment the bat demons drop us at the entrance, and it's a theme that only grows throughout the trilogy and into the spiritual successors like Bloodborne and Elden Ring. Great, fantastic, amazing. It doesn't make it the whole story. It doesn't make it all about classism, right? You guys are, again, you're stripping the story. You're stripping a well-told, very thought-out story with so much lore to it that you have to explore the world, look at the items, and understand things and piece it together. You are taking that story and then you're trying to turn it into a story only about classism. That is ridiculous, but this is what they do. Then he says that we see the poor living in the sewers while self-described gods manufacture propaganda and false prophecies to coerce the undead into sacrificing themselves to continue their age of opulence and greed. Gwyn, the head of this pantheon, fears humans as their sheer numbers are a potential threat to his rule. So he manipulated the pygmies into seeing themselves as lesser, elevating himself to divine status so that he would never threaten him. He is their god after all, and who would dare kill a god? Classism and how religious dogma can be manipulated as a means of control is a core theme throughout From Software games, as are the inevitable dangers of greed and selfishness that wealth is built upon. Again, I want you guys to understand something. They are taking all these elements and they are trying to exacerbate each element separately and then try to sell you the idea that this is totally about what happens in real life, right? This is totally, you just don't have the media literacy to understand. You're just a stupid chud, right? All you saw was a great story. Oh, no. Let me explain to you what this story is actually about, because I'm the journalist and I know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, let's get to the good stuff. I really want everybody to understand the best part about this article. This is what I want to talk about. Soulsborne games have always been queer. I thought to myself, oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait to see how this journalist spins this. Here we go. Classism and religious dogma are just one aspect of Dark Souls and later From Software titles. They are also deeply queer. Yes, these games are so gay. They're so unbelievably gay. The moment you turn the game on, you are inundated with gay. That's how gay these games are. They're deeply rooted in it. Demon Souls originally had gender-locked armor, or gear that would alter depending on your gender. But Dark Souls scrapped that idea entirely just 2 years later. This marked a huge shift for Soulsborne games as a whole, as From Software began to move away from gender conformity entirely. Are they moving away from gender conformity, or are they just simply trying to make the game a little bit more accessible gear-wise? See, this is my problem. These journalists look at gameplay elements that are in there to try to make the game more accessible and a little bit more easier in terms of cosplaying and setting up your character the way exactly that you want. Or for some aspects, there are certain gear that when it's put together with other builds might work really well, but the problem is they were gender locked, right? Let's say you had a certain hat, a witch hat that was only meant for females, but you had a really good build put together and you want to use that hat. You can't because your character is male and not female, so they removed it entirely so that way you could set your build up regardless of what your gender is. This is not about gender conformity. This is quite simply about gameplay elements and making it easier to put builds together, you dumb motherfucker. And then it says in Dark Souls, Gwendolyn is referenced by male pronouns and is even described as a brother, but he was raised as a girl due to his affinity for the moon. We see this represented by his feminine clothing and his character model's actual body, furthering the idea that he is non-gender conforming, but he is handled with the same sincerity as every other character in the game, never mocked or degraded. We saw elements of this in Elden Ring and Miquella, who is also ambiguous in their appearance. Let it be known that Gwendolyn is a boy. He is a boy. It doesn't matter if he was raised as a girl. It doesn't matter if he wears feminine gear. He is a boy. This is how the Japanese do it. There are many characters that are in the Japanese known as femboys, but they are still boys at the end of the day. They don't believe in that trans shit. They are boys. But you guys are misunderstanding what these Japanese people are actually putting into their stories. If you want another example, you can go look at Vinland Saga. Towards the end, there is a new character that's introduced that is obviously a male, right? But it was raised as a female to avoid putting them in war because boys were put into war. I'll let you guys figure that out from there. But still, it is a male character. It has always been referenced as such. And all they did was change the name and keep the name in order to protect that person so they don't get thrown into war. It's a thing that happens in Japanese culture and stories, and you guys are trying to twist it to be a trans idea, and it's so ridiculous. Now, here's the part that really fucking pissed me off, okay? This shit right here drove me insane. It says Dark Souls 2 allows you to change your gender at any time via the coffin, ergo allowing you to play as a trans character, and its penultimate boss, the Throne Watcher, is referenced to by male pronouns in the English translation, despite having a feminine body. But fuck the second part. Wait, so you mean to tell me a gameplay element that allows you to change your sex in order to make it easier for you to go from male to female so you don't have to re-roll a character, that suddenly makes you a trans character? This person was like, ergo, that makes you a trans character, so clearly this is a trans analogy. You know, it's like you are trying to find things, you are looking for it, right? You are looking for it and you're finding it because you think you see it because you are searching for it. You are looking for any and everything that could potentially even remotely be gay or some sort of LGBTQ propaganda, and you are calling it out, even though that's not what it is. It is a fucking coffin that lets you change your sex. It's not trying to make you a trans character. It's not like your character suddenly just becomes trans because it goes into the coffin. No, it's a gameplay element, and you're taking gameplay elements and you're trying to politicize them. This is what I'm talking about. So at the end of the day, boys, when I saw this article, I honestly didn't even know what to think. When I got to this part, I stopped reading. I'm not going to lie to you. And I'm going to do exactly that here. because this level of retardation, this level of desperate, I need to see myself in video games, is just coming through strong on this article. And I thought it was stupid, but I wanted to share with you who apparently the chuds out there watching this video right now. If you didn't know, Dark Souls is inherently gay. And if you are playing these games, you are also gay. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. If you get to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.